Let me take this opportunity to welcome members, officers, and reps from the agency who are present. Welcome one and all. Pastor Bryan will now lead us in devotion.
Notice is hereby given that the regular monthly meeting of the General Council of the St. Thomas Municipal Corporation will be held in the meeting room of the Municipal Corporation, Morant Bay, on Thursday, May 9, commencing at 10:07 a.m.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
You may be seated. This meeting is now called to order.
Who is the righteous and acknowledge him, and he will direct our path. Everything. He said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man can go to the Father except through me. We pray that your peace will cover this parish. You know, with the parish that don't only St. Thomas and we pray for Jamaica and Canada. We pray for the leaders of our country, our Prime Minister, your opposition leader, and all those that are in Parliament this morning. The Lord, take for control, oh God, of this, oh parish, dear Father. Lord God, help us, and everyone in your various categories will be led by you. Your peace abide with us. And as you taught us when we pray, say, our Father.
As we are no doubt aware, Council Bryan passed last Tuesday night. I am requesting a motion of suspension. Let us stand and observe minutes.
May his soul rest in peace and light perpetually shine on him.
Does anyone?
A colleague, a friend, and as you all know, a comrade of mine. He has served well over the past 18 years of service to the council. He has blessed many lives, including mine. I have learned a lot from him, and I pray that the spirit with which Comrade Bryan, Washy Bryan, conducted himself over these years, that we will learn from it and adopt what's best from what he did display during this period of time, so that we can make this council be a better council and better carry out the work that we're supposed to for the parish of St. Thomas.
I just want to take this opportunity to say something real our colleague, Councillor Bryan. He's a gentleman that always keeps this council, and you call it, you can't be sad when you're around Bryan. You always have something to share. That man would have said. Sometimes I remember his joke from the old cartoon type where we used to have JBC. He always bring that up. And I said, Councilor Bryan would never, before I enter into politics, Councilor Bryan would meet and say, brother, we are the same people from St. Thomas, not a political line. Always reach out to me when in campaign. But I must say, I don't know what, but on the 29th, he texted me and he said to me, I text him and I asked him how everything. He said, well, everything all right here. The doctor and the nurse are treating me well. But, brother, I'm tired of this, you know. I want to go home. But he never tell me which home I'm on. Alright, I have the message here and see. Say, boy, I'm tired of this. I want to go home. But I've never realized and know that what Councilor Bryan was going through. And after I know about this condition, and I'm saying that we all here, alright, is a very kind-hearted person. When you come on, when you look on Councilor Bryan for the poor, Councilor Bryan will sit on a Christmas day over the infirmary, sit, cook and eat with the patient. He's a man that you can't be saying that boy you are. I just say washy, you ever say, boy, you're quiet. He's a very pleasant, and I'm saying, as I see last night, turn out for him, and I said, to all my colleagues, what we must live good, just as a president of a Councilor Bryan tradition. May his soul rest in peace. God bless.
Let me use this opportunity to say that when I first met Washy in 2016, when I came to this council as a councillor for the Yalas Division, Washy always said to me, politics is not easy, and politics is something that you have to love. The people you deal with is always the person who went to curse you. Washy say you're young, you're just a come. I only hope you can enjoy the moment. Washy go as far as telling me when he was back in America and the things that he used to do and stuff like that. And to me, Washy is just a human being that always there for the poor and the less fortunate. And for that reason, I lift my hat to him, because he's a people person. And for that reason, last night, it speaks volume of what we say. That was a sting last night. No one single individual could not pull off something like that, what happened last night, unless it's a stage show with some good artists. Last night speaks volume for Washy. Washy, my friend, may your soul rest in peace, and that you are gone to your eternal Father, and we will meet you there one day, but not in council.
I always heard about Washy, never knew nothing about him. And the first time I met him was when we sworn in. And after the sworn in, he approached me and he said to me, even though we're from different political arena, well, he embraced me with a warm hug, and said, welcome. Based on observation, is a very, very humble soul. May his soul rest in peace. May his soul rest in peace.
As I would always say, I never like to elaborate on when someone passes. But in true reality, I am happy to know that myself and Councilor Bryan had a good relationship. We're on the same committee, Poor Relief, which both of us share the same sentiment regarding the less fortunate. I just want to say, may his soul rest in peace. He and his maker know his way out.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to say on behalf of the St. Thomas Municipal Corporation how deeply saddened we are by the passing of Councilor Bryan. It is Martin Luther King Jr., who says that if you want to see the true measure of a man, watch how he treats his inferiors, not his equals. The true measure of a man is how he treats someone who can do absolutely no good for him. And I will add, who will not return the favor to you. Councillor Bryan is someone who joined the service of the council on March 26, 2012, having won the seat of councillor for the Morant Bay Division. He served on the Poor Relief Committee as well as other committees, but there was no committee to him like the Poor Relief Committee. Councillor Bryan was not a politician. He was a people's person. And no matter how you see him come in, and it doesn't matter what your political affiliation, he is always looking out for you. The staff can recall that there are many days when he would come to the council and he would sit down with members of staff trying to find out what is happening with them. Sometimes we think, sometimes after I pass him, I say, I thought you were gone. He say, I'm just here chit-chatting. And he would move from department to department, trying to talk to persons. He would always advocate for the staff. And as a matter of fact, when he comes to you about any member of staff, it's like he's commanding you that you need to do something for this person. He is someone who is called by some members of staff uncle. And sometimes when they call him uncle, he say, auntie. So in his response, he would say, auntie. The kind of relationship that he had with his staff, it was not a councillor staff relationship. It was an uncle child relationship. So he would seek to address the needs of members of staff. He would speak to you and ask you what you can do for these persons. For the Poor Relief Committee, Councillor Bryan was always there. Somebody spoke about the breakfast. Every Christmas, he would go to the infirmary, prepare breakfast, and he would sit with the residents and have breakfast with them while he talks to them and so forth. So most of them know him by name, and he knows most of them by name. He was also very influential in the Homelessness Day celebration that we have for the street persons. He would ask a number of persons for contributions, and he would also make contributions to the homelessness committee so that the function can be carried out in a very professional way. We will at times remember him as a peacemaker. If there are quarrels and whatever, Councillor Bryan would just find a joke and run it off as that, as a joke, because he doesn't like quarrel and he doesn't like fusses. So he would play down any argument that you're trying to have with him, and he would run it off in a joke. Death is not an easy road, and some of us are still grappling with the reality of the death of Councillor Bryan. But I say to us all, we all have to travel here one day. But what we will do, we will ensure that we have the Savior with us to take us across Jordan. That's what we need to do, and we don't have to worry anymore. May his soul rest in peace, and light perpetual shine upon him.
As most of us here would know that my best friend was Councilor Bryan, outside of politics or within politics. I don't think I will ever have another friend like that. And you know, we have two completely different personalities. Number one, he's much easier to get upset, and he's just a cool operator. He always used saying that he's cool, but he's no fool. And you know, I have to describe Councilor Bryan as a beautiful human being, based on the way he has lived his life. I can remember when we first became councilor, because we both became councilor at the same time. And from that day, he was the chairman of the Poor Relief Committee. And you know, even in times of JLP-led administration, he was chairman of the Poor Relief Committee. And it was the only committee that he wanted to be chairman of. He wasn't interested in being chairman of no other committee but the Poor Relief. And that says something about the man, you know. And also, there's that time of year that you have to ensure that you have breakfast with the residents at the infirmary. And through that period, that is part of the festive season, you know, where we all want to be with our families, we all want to travel, but he take it upon himself as his duty, as part of his commitment to service, to have breakfast with the residents. Even in council, sometime when it gets a little hot, he always have the ice or the cold water to pour on the conversation so that a proper temperature can be restored. As I said before, he was a great human being. And I can remember up to the other day, he called me about a situation at the Red Hill Cemetery and said, Willie, you have to come and talk up for me and whatever. So when I come in, I'm fired up. I prime all my cylinders, ready. And when they come and start to put on the fire, he was the one who was going down the middle. I said to him, man, oh, you call me to defend you. And you make me come. And I look hard, and you just today, you know, the media said, no, man, you can't do me that. He said, Willie, you are you and me, you know. Me can't change you, and you can't change me. I mean, if you just understand, that's the way my friend is. If you listen to him speak in council, he tried not to offend either side. We all know the side that he's on. And at the same time, he never tried to offend the baby. Like me, you know, me don't start, I never care. Whatever it is, that's it. But he always take other people's feelings into consideration. And I really hope that I can someday, maybe not right now, get that characteristic from him. But he will be greatly missed. And you know, I must say, because I'm not the person, I can't hold my words. I'm not good at that. I'm very weak. Even last night, knowing that Washy was such a peaceful person, and to see how his service went last night, you know, I think we need to look in ourselves and look how we go forward as a parish. Because we have to have respect to each other and to each other's belief. And if a person dying, say he's going to come out to support his legacy and so forth and so forth, you have to do it the way how you know that person would have liked it. It can't be the opposite of how the person would have liked it. Then you come to cause trouble and to disrupt the event, not to celebrate his life and legacy. And one thing I've learned, that since I've sat in this council, is the third councillor that we have lost. And I can tell you, even though I just started and I don't care about other things, one thing when it comes to their legacy and their memories and so forth, I try to give my fullest level of respect to them. So I'm just saying, as we go forward, we need to show some respect to each other, show a little more love, because we don't know when we're going to drop out the game, when our days come, because you know, death is appointed unto every man. We might not know where and when, but it's coming. So we just need to have a little more love. We need to make peace reign amongst us, and you know, as I said before, just try to love each other and just speak the way our washy would have loved it. Thank you.
I did this sympathy to the Bryan family. Bryan was a friend of mine, and he will be missed by all. May his soul rest in peace. The CEO will go through all the matters arising from the minutes.
We have some correction to be made, please.
There was no.
Alright, there's a lot of correction, but go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, just to say, Mr. Chairman, he has informed me that he was going to try and send a report to me for this meeting, but apparently it did not come in time because we checked and we did not see the report. But he said he's working on the matters. Some of them have been addressed already, and some of them he's dealing with. So we hope that, Mr. Chairman, by next month, we will be able to have some response from the NWA pertaining to the matters. The matter pertaining to bridges without rails is also an NWA matter, which we also.
I spoke to the contractor, and they said that they are 85% for completion. All right, so they only have the sidewalks to complete, paving, and after that, so they're looking at the duration time they're looking at is between the end of this month to the beginning of June.
Thank you.
You may be aware that we are in constant dialogue with NLA, National Land Agency, and they are supposed to write us regarding a meeting, a very important meeting that they're supposed to have to include the council. The date has not been set, but they will write to us in short order for a meeting to be convened. The Yellows Market, the Paul Bogle Foundation has started moving out a number of items. As a matter of fact, we can say most of the things have been moved out. Their lawyer has written to us, asking us if we could give them to the end of this month to just complete everything. I wrote to our lawyer to say that since they're to ask if that is okay, to say since they're asking for that, we are asking that no other date be given. So they've asked up to the 30th of this month. So after that time, no other date will be considered. Let's erase it. That concludes that exercise.
The following events are being planned leading up to Councilor Bryan funeral. Candlelight vigil held last night, May 8th. Grave digging, May 27, 2024. Set up June 1st, 2024. Funeral service, June 2nd, 2024 at 10 a.m. at Colonel Court. Labor Day will be celebrated on Thursday, May 23rd, 2024. National Church service will be held on May 19th church conventional.
Commencing at 10 a.m.
At
So
10
I,
a.m.
subsequent to that, Mr. Chairman, subsequent to that, I got a letter from the JCDC advising us of the plans for Heritage Week. And this correspondence came from them. The government of Jamaica, led by the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, will be hosting the Workers' Week Thanksgiving service with focus on persons with disabilities, the elderly, and the vulnerable, under the slogan, "Ramp up the access, show that we care." On Sunday, May 19, commencing at 10 a.m. at the Morant Parish Church, St. Thomas. So that is the National Church Service will be held at the Morant Parish Church on May 19 at 10 a.m. The government of Jamaica officials and other esteemed dignitaries are expected to be in attendance, and as such, we are kindly requesting your usual assistance and collaboration in the execution of this event. Aside, we have our Labor Day projects. We have a parish project, and the councilors usually have their projects in their divisions. We have been advised that there will be an allocation for Labor Day for all councilors and the mayor. So the allocation will come to us in short order so that you can make your plans as to the divisions, as to what you will do in your divisions.
Report from agency. Social Development Commission.
Not ready to exercise for training for the youth in here. And then you have the key, you're walking around like it's your premises, not being premises. And I'm asking SDC, please, to see if you can convene a meeting. I'm willing to attend and make we stretch it out before it reaches that situation.
Okay, Sir McLeod, for this coming week, so that we can meet. We have also spoken to the same gentleman. He had informed the officer on that side that he's willing to give up the key, but he has to get a piece of the pie. I don't know which pie. It is the one that Jimmy Cliff sings about in the sky or where. So I am waiting on you, Mr. McLeod, to give Miss Bennett the date that is most convenient for you, so we can meet.
Okay, and I already next week, anytime.
Okay.
Miss Makala, how far are we at with the SDC cricket competition now?
Well, this week we are still at round of 8 because matches were off last week due to the inclement weather condition. So this week we resume. Come tomorrow, we will have one match that's between Yalas and Fonthill, and then Sunday we'll have 2 matches.
And what Caldo will last here?
Yes, yes.
Hearing the question. We're not hearing the question.
I'm just, Ms. Makala got the last item from John Smoting. He used to be the manager for John Smoting himself. So we lost him over the week. So I'm just let you know that.
Okay. Any more questions?
What SDC is doing to us?
What?
SDC is doing to us here.
Okay, as soon as we get back in office, Ms. Roberts was out for a while. She was back since Monday. So we will speak on that and then communicate with you.
Strategy. We are inviting agencies and communities to invite us to come and speak to you in regards to fire prevention and earthquake especially.
Thank you.
It will be made to those individuals later this month. also to have that persons who were affected, they can also visit our office to get other assistance. Maybe they can get assistance, educational grants, compassionate grants, to ease the burden, as a result of the flood. PATH is now on the path to transformation, and the ministry is now doing a parish town hall meetings. The date for St. Thomas will be, you will be notified as soon as the date is planned for St. Thomas.
For traditional?
Mention about the flooding. So
Or it's both of them. It's both.
It's
the flood
both,
and the
okay,
earthquake,
okay.
Yes. All the application went in together.
Okay.
For the month of March, for the month of April 2024, the St. Thomas Division has recorded 9 major crimes. These are 1 case of murder, 3 cases of shooting, 1 case of aggravated assault, and 4 cases of breaking. This compared to the previous month of March 2024, where the division recorded 5 major crimes. For the corresponding 5 major crimes. For the corresponding period of April last year, 2023, the division recorded 10 major crimes. This represents a decrease of 5. In 2023, 24 cases of murder were recorded in the division compared to 40 in 2022. That is, last year, you would have seen a decrease in our major crimes and murder in particular. As I said before, we had 40 in 2022, and we have 24 in last year. This represents a decrease of 16 or 40%. No incident of murder were recorded in April of this year. Same for the period last year. Since the start of the year in 2024, the St. Thomas Division has recorded 4 cases of murder. 2 of the 4 incidents have been recorded in the Seafood Police jurisdiction, while 1 has been recorded in Morant Bay and Yallas, respectively. 1 of the 4 murders has been cleared by arrest. Point to note, all murders recorded thus far in 2024 have been committed by the use of firearms. Total major crimes recorded in St. Thomas Division as at the 4th of May is 38 compared to 61 for the corresponding period last year. This represents a decrease of 23 or 38%. I must say that since the start of the year, as I said before, we had 4 murders. For the corresponding period of last year, we had 9. So here we have a decrease of 5 murders. So we are trending down steadily. And I know this is not just by chance, but because of the hard work and the commitment of the men and women of the division. And I must not leave out the other stakeholders, the agencies that assist in this effort, the community members. We must applaud you for your continuous assistance. This is our parish, and we have to do everything to keep the crime down so that people can enjoy our nice road and other amenities that is being put in place in this parish. This is our parish. Let us work together, continue to work together to have this crime, this monster, as low as we can. We were able to seize, since the start of the year, 2 firearms in the parish, and this was in the area of, I think it was in the bull-based space. We happened to seize 2 firearms, 1 rifle and 1 handgun. And we intend to continue this effort to get the guns off the street. Because seeing that the guns are the weapons being used to commit these crimes, we have to make the effort to just remove them out of the space. And with that, I think we'll be able to continue to get the crime down, particularly murder down. But I must mention though that whilst we are working on the crime situation, we also need the assistance where fatal accidents is concerned. That is also, when we have a fatal accident, that is also a life lost. So we have to be careful on the road. When you see this careless driving, reckless driving, nothing is wrong. Call the police, call 119, say I'm seeing this happening on the road, so that at least we can intercept these persons. At least a talk to will work. So last year we had 4 is too much, 4 fatal accidents resulting in 6 fatalities. So far, for the month of April, we have seen, I would say last month, March, we had 4 fatal accidents resulting in 6 fatalities. So far for the month of April, we have 2 fatal accidents, collisions resulting from 2 fatalities. Any questions?
Through the chair. Does the CID office in Dallas Police Station in operation?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Any more questions?
Question. Does the, in terms of accidents on the road, does the JCF make any effort in terms of enforcement with the contractors that are presently working on the road? I'm asking this question. We have seen accidents in recent times because of the lack thereof of safety, or the absence of safety guidelines in terms of the road. Like example, a big hole will dig out on the road. They dug it for some reason, and there is no sign, say 200 meters before we reach that hole, indicating that there is a hole right there. There will be something again where, for some reason, the lane have to merge, and there is no sign showing a lane merger 200 meters before. So I'm asking if the police take a good look at this and see that they are the enforcement body, police do the enforcement, if we get it right. Enforce this thing, because it can't be a situation where we just looking at what motorists is doing, but at the same time, the roadway doesn't facilitate safe driving. So that's where I'm going with it.
Yes. Some dialogue with the contractors from time to time, and what you saw on the road, that is some of our concerns, and we would have brought it to their attention. But I must say though, that in recent times, we haven't had any report of any accidents as a result of any of what you mentioned. But we continue to dialogue with them to see how best they can secure those areas which is considered to be hazard on the road.
Trying to change the lights here. I know what wasn't there. And when I going back, I carried a wall up here. I know what wasn't there coming. And when going back, a car in a whole license. And the wall was there. So I understand, but
And your worship, question. He said that they have dialogue. I am not talking about dialogue because the police, if I'm doing something wrong, driving my car, it's not about dialogue. They're going to give me a ticket. I'm not saying communication don't work, but we are talking about enforcement here. And I think that one of the police main function is to enforce. And these contractors, they're going to do things the cheapest way because them just, it's all about making a profit. If we don't have an enforcement body, that bonus, because even when you're saying in recent time, I see members of the meeting shaking their head saying, no, that's not true. There's several people shaking their head. Come look on body language a lot. You understand? Yeah, because people represent, so we have to kind of always do what people say. And people are saying, no soup, no soup. So I am saying, the police need to get out there and just like how me I get a ticket. If there's supposed to be some safety tools out there, or indicators, whatever you call it. Yes, yeah, they're supposed to be ticketed if this is what they're supposed to do. Because at the end of the day, we see cars over and over dropping a hole. The accident will go on a grand spend at the same thing because the necessary safety thing. And no time is people moving. Because you have to continue to monitor these things because you just don't clean your house today and then the next 3 weeks you do nothing to it. It's a continuous part of life. So I can even speak on a roach gully and stuff like that. And even sometimes you pass our one truck broke down for 4 or 5 days. Them something can't go on a society. The enforcement team will come in and that after 2 and go somewhere else. You can't have a truck broke down there, no reflectors or nothing, and just broke down on the side of the road and whatever. At the same time, construction is going on. So I am saying that we don't put these systems in place, we're gonna always lose life. And whether you lose a life by motor vehicle or by a gun, it's still loss of life. And that's why the police is reporting about traffic as well, because it's just as dangerous as the rifle and the pistols. So I am just saying, so we have to take a strong arm approach to making our roads way much safer.
We will continue our vigilance and deal with the situation. But over here, we will speak to them also because they are the main persons that deal with the contractors. But I know the concern. We also know the concern.
Resurfaced. Crop production over the period, though crop production declined due to by 19.4%. That is mainly due to the conditions, the weather conditions in terms of.
And a kind of correction, Chairman. The road and not the road.
Right, pardon. That is. So the main decliners were vegetable production, yam production, tubers, cocoa and dasheen in particular, and our condiments, which includes pepper, ginger, sweet pepper, hot peppers. Backhoe operations, 49 hours was completed, mainly land clearing activities. The plow tractor, 4 hectares of land was prepared over the period. Our school food feeding program continues with 9 schools. Fruit plates at a cost of $150 was offered to students. A total of $86,250 received. In terms of drought mitigation, we have been sensitizing our farmers, our clients in general, on the various aspects that has to do with that. And of course, we'll partner with the fire brigade in terms of fires in those areas. A number of farms are damaged over the period, and you'll get that report in the month to come. Upcoming events, our annual show has been postponed due to activities beyond our control, but it will be rescheduled in short order, and that date will be provided. The Denby Agricultural Show begins on the 4th and will run until the 6th. That's the Denby Agricultural Show, island-wide. That's in Clarendon. Any questions?
Mr. Chair. Yes, Mr. Your farmers clear the land to plow. When to rather pay their money. Tractor come and plow in the land and the tractor to break down. So the land actually get back in woodland. What the farmers should do?
Well, I don't think our tractor has been down for that long.
Puncture. I was the one who took into the
Right. So it's punctured. So that is a short fix.
Yeah.
So I don't think that land will get back into bushes until we return.
Yeah.
So, but if it's punctured, of course we will return to
puncture.
continue.
Then after your tractor is in yellows. The tractor don't come back. All no tractor don't come back.
Just give me a call and I'll rectify the situation.
Alright.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Could you remind me your name, please, sir?
Stevenson, Error.
Yes, Mr. Stevens. I listen of outline, but in terms of numbers and in terms of the extension officers and their duty and function, that hasn't been put on our report.
Okay.
So what I want to ask you now is that I can't challenge you in terms of what you're saying, because I don't have it here.
Right.
You have outlined it, because I can tell you, most of the extension officer don't even pay attention to their areas in terms of checking of farms and all of that. We are sure that some of them don't even check. And the reality is that it is not fair for an extension officer to come and make a report for 5 or 6 acres, but at the same time you want to give us a supply of just quarter acre. Then you're going to have in your report the 6 acres for us, but you only can assist us in terms of quarter. But at the same time, maybe you go in office and write to say that you have go pathway in terms of 3 acres. So in terms of the numbers, I rather for you to let it be on this report. So if I should challenge you regarding that, I can say, I am sure this wasn't done.
No problem.
All right.
Okay, so we have approximately 14 officers that does visits, including myself and the deputy, right? Numbers we provide as best as we can are authentic, that we have checked, double checked, verified before we come here. We don't give a report unless we are as sure as we can be. In all sense of the word, we can't be 100%. So those data will be provided so you can have a look at it.
Community are asking for assistance over overgrown trees which are tied up with electrical wire, and that is near to the primary and infant school. Another one was that the old reports that were here from long time for C4 pertaining to some road crossing. The persons resident in the community are still asking what about those reports, and if persons could go back and look on them, would be able to know them. And they said the river at Seaford is affected by the quarry in hillside. Citizens can barely get to do their washing and bathing because of the water is dirty. There are also a lot of pipe water in the area right through the districts. A light post in Harborhead Road leading from Chovy housing scheme, light post 0184084, is there for a long time. Reports were made over a period of time. What happened now is that the post that is used to strengthen that post itself, it fell on a resident house, causing the two persons that live in that house to be traumatized, and because fire was gushing from that place. Alright, here is the animals on the roads leading to path that is Potosi. Drivers and residents that are using that road are fear of their lives, especially in the nights, and they are asking for the relevant authorities to do something about that. Any questions?
Fellow agents, representatives, members of the public, and the media, good morning. First, I'd just like to begin by apologizing for being a bit late. I came in at the point where you're all speaking about safety on the road. If you can indulge me, your worship, just wanted to tell you what happened to me when I was coming in by the depot. I was pulled into the depot by the police, and they have a big operation going on where they're doing the examinations on everybody's vehicle. So actually witness for myself, they took away 2 persons' license plates. The line was a bit long and I had to wait, but it's ongoing, it's an ongoing operation. Yes, so just because you're talking about safety on the roads, and I'm just saying I know the police are out there they're actually out there examining vehicles right now as just I was one of them, that was the team. So on to my report. I'm pleased to report at this time that we have 0, we are on schedule, there's no backlog. At the time the report was tabled, we had on the 7th we had 4 loads of backlog. Currently we removed that and we're back on schedule again. So I'm pleased to report that. Other than that, there is not much report. We've been doing our regular desilting, our regular bulky waste removal, and things look, as far as solid waste is concerned in parish, I think things are looking good. I can give you updates. I know the trucks that are supposed to be here, some have already arrived. I think some of the tipper trucks have gotten here, and the compactor should be arriving shortly. So we should have some additional units available for collection, and that will again help to enhance the collection across the island. Other than that, I have nothing to report. I will conclude my presentation. If anybody has any questions, I will gladly accept your questions at this time. Thank you.
Mr. Gooden.
Yes, sir.
So both of this man, but one problem I have, the truck them can't park a little bit better.
I mean, when they park in the evening?
They can't park.
Oh, you mean while they're collecting?
Yes.
I'll try and speak to them about that. I understand what you're saying.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Goodwin.
Yes, sir.
Well, I can say that you're on time with your schedule, but for Labor Day coming, does solid waste have anything planned? Because we have some areas that used to be dump site, and now we erect no dumping. So just to transform, because I see it doing in the corporate area. So I wonder if you guys thinking about the rural area in terms of a transformation of that space, not to allow it to go back to dumping.
Okay, so I wouldn't say we have anything planned in the rural area necessarily for Labor Day. As I said, I know we have a plan for the corporate area, but if you have any little projects, mini projects that you want us to assist you with, you can bring it to us and I will surely take it back to them and we can try our best to assist.
All right.
We would not neglect the rural area or St. Thomas. It is foremost in our thoughts.
All right, sir.
Your worship?
Application for butcher license?
None, sir.
Application for barber? And hairdresser license?
Yes, sir.
The parish is currently experiencing a severe and critical shortage of our registered nurses, especially in primary care, but also in secondary care. The parish is currently experiencing a critical shortage of registered nurses across primary care and secondary care. Speaking about primary care, this has severely affected our services, curative, dressings, etc. And of course, our community outreach, as you know, our Know Your Numbers campaigns have also been affected. We have reached out to the region and other parishes for assistance, and we're waiting on a response. The hospital has provided us with one registered nurse, but as you know, we're only down to, that would just raise our tally to 3. We're hoping for a 4th nurse to make things a little more even, but we still need more nurses. We've only done one Know Your Numbers event last April. It was merged with a pap smear drive. We did 33 pap smears in all and screened 83 persons in the Know Your Numbers event. So that's a total of 160 persons screened for the month of April. May, as I said, with the nursing shortage, even if we enlist the help of enrolled nurses, patient care assistants, it still needs to be supervised by our nursing team. So we're at a critical juncture right now. On to Mrs. Ellington, our Chief Inspector, will give the more fulsome environmental health report. But briefly, we are currently conducting adulticidal and larvicidal activities for the Anopheles mosquitoes, as we're having an influx of patients into the parish. Our dengue numbers are pretty low. 1 case last week and 1 this week. There's been no COVID cases, but parish adulticidal and larvicidal activities for Aedes aegypti continues. Regarding our HIV program, we continue to conduct screening and reaching and testing of members of the population, particularly sexually active males and females. Our numbers are a bit low for female sex workers and or key population members, but the team is very enthusiastic, very aggressive. We have also moved into testing in our health centers, and we're stepping up testing at the hospital as well. Thank you.
First, before I ask a question, are you in a position to answer question in regards to the protocol of the Princess Margaret Hospital, operating protocols?
I think that question will be best left to the senior medical officer of the hospital.
But
what protocols?
But bear in mind that the senior medical officer don't come to this meeting.
That's correct.
And this is the meeting that the center must public and residents will gather their information from. And that this is the meeting that they would also almost with questions to ask the hospital and other agencies of government.
When you speak about protocols of a hospital, as I was saying, there are several protocols governing the operation of the hospital. Is there any protocol to which you specifically
I'm going to ask a question specifically, but I just want to first.
Are there any protocols to which you are specifically referring?
Let me, and I want to speak specifically to the time that Councillor Bryan spent at the Princess Margaret Hospital. He was admitted Sunday evening. Yes, he was stabilized for a heart condition. I do know prior. And Monday, to the best of my knowledge, no investigatory work was done on Monday. It was Tuesday that he was sent to Apex for such work to be done. Time between Sunday evening to Tuesday. And even on Tuesday, there were no ambulance available. So you have to went in a private car. And the reason why I want to speak to these issues, whether you are on that side of the line, be a JLP, or whether you're a PNP, we all have to use the Princess Margaret Hospital. And some of us in this room today are in the parish. We say, we have our money, we will go to Amatos. But just bear in mind, there can be emergencies and you have to go to the closest hospital. So this is a matter that every person who resides or even drive through the parish should be concerned about. And Tuesday, when he was sent to Apex to do the scan and the necessary investigations, he went in a private car, driven by just one of his little cousins. There were not even a porter, not even an LPN, no RN, nobody not did there in a plain Jamaican language. No, there were no beds for him to lay on. When he go to Apex, he had to sit in a chair. When the man was coming back, he fainted twice. Coming back to Princess. But I'm just saying, my God, these can't be the protocol that any modern medical facility working with. It is sick, it is disgusting. Because we understand that we have limitation as a country, and not every hospital is going to have all the equipment that it needs. But we can put some basic systems in place that can save some life. Now, if a heart condition comes in Sunday and you recognize that this hospital don't have the capacity to deal with it, transfer the patient. And I'm not saying if you transfer him to death, but there is the possibility. No, you keep the man and you keep him till Monday. You don't do nothing Monday. Because you can't do nothing because you don't know what's going on. And Tuesday, even when you're sending, this man have a respiratory problem. And when you're sending not with oxygen, you know, sending with, it's like you send this man to death, to die, sorry. So I can't understand how the Princess Margaret Hospital function. And it should be all of us concerned, all of us should be upset about how the Princess Margaret. My grandma was there, and when me go look for my grandma, the day they not really want to let me through. And me have to make 2 calls and going. Tonic was there, and when me did that, Granny could all respond. When me take a stop, hungry, Granny hungry, because they brought the food to Granny, they bring sardine and bread. She's a privileged old woman, so she don't eat that type of food there. And then just put on the food here. Just put it there, like if you don't want to eat it, then just leave it there. And when we go there and feed Granny some ensure and whatever, she come back and say, boy, I'm hungry and not kill me. And whatever. I'm saying we can't treat our people like that. People here pay tax. Just as any other part in Jamaica. And we, as I said before, we have way better roads now. So transfer the patient. So if a hospital don't have the equipment, they must have the ambulance then. Because we know so we have to do some transfer. So you can't alter investigatory equipment and alter hospital. They tell people don't go there then. But you can't admit people and you can't deal with them. The Princess Margaret Hospital is giving people false hope. I don't go there. Because it's not a place that human beings should go with the hope to get the situation already. I don't go there. But maybe one day I have an emergency. And me have to end up there. And even if me never go there, I want to talk for the man who have to go there. The management structure at the Princess Margaret Hospital is not right. How can you send a patient all the way to Kingston with such problem in the way that you send Councilor Bryan? And I'm going to say something to you. I want you to look on this very important point. Councilor Bryan wasn't a common boy. So if the man is an elected representative and he was treated that way, tell me how they would treat the ordinary man, the common man. We have to look in ourselves. And you see, sometimes when we talk, sometimes I'm passion, you know, misinterpreted and to arrogance, you know. But more my people just understand is the passion that I have to represent. That's why I speak with so much emotion. Because certain things need emotion. And this is one of them, a life we are talking about. There are some things we just have to put in place. That's the only aspect that we have.
Chairman, I went to look at Councilor Bryan, and first thing I asked him, how you feel? He said, Lord's my side. So I said to myself, sir, how your side hurt you and you end up on drippings. That I said to myself, because he was there and you can see the uncomfortableness now him. He feel uncomfortable with his side. So I think the hospital should really check him side to see what really happened to his side. Because I said Washy have a heart problem. But that was the heart problem because it had come from his side. That's why you say he feel uncomfortable inside. And because of that, chairman, that rest for me. Oh him die. I like that's why I came, oh Washy die. And that rest for me from that day until now. It have me. I never feel this way when my mother died. I never feel this way when my brother died. I never feel this way when my sister died. But to me, the way home to Washy died, he not die that way. I think if Washy take care of, Washy will die today. So now that's the commentary, how him die.
First of all, I would just like to endorse and offer my profound sympathy for Washy and his family and his council friends and his friends in this organization. But currently, the entire matter is under investigation, so we're not able to provide any in-depth answers at this time.
Speaking out that Washy shouldn't have died like this, and obviously based on information that, and I'm happy that the chairman is here today, because the chairman can't get a scot-free. I'm my chairman. I hate cook and back wash. He's here. I don't hold anybody accountable that need to be held accountable. So even though he's my good friend, him the chairman of the board. No, that she have been speaking out about, says she worked there and she not got it. And I know a lot, to be honest, even some of them who are prosecutors, they work at Princess Market and don't use, it's not their preferred health facility. And she's speaking out and said, you can't send a patient to Kingston without oxygen, you can't do this, you can't. No, when Mr. She start coming under these undue pressure, I look and say, what kind of, we need whistleblowers in society to make changes. We need to salute that lady instead of trying to fire her. And we can't sit down as a parish and allow the people and we are doing them civic duty by speak out against the wrong with poor people have to face. We can't sit down and let them people get fired. I will never sit down and be silent when people like that get fired. So the chairman needs to look at that too. Yeah. Because that lady get fired. We have a fire up St. Thomas. We will never accept that. Yeah. Because everything she said in that vice note is true. And wash the past and gone. God bless his soul. But we have to speak out so it don't happen to other residents of the parish. We understand that we can't bring him back. But we must create a new platform where people can have hope in the Princess Market Hospital. And we have to put in the necessary protocols because we know we're not going to get the money to fix it. But we must have some set protocol, man. When a man come with this, we don't have a cardiologist working here. So for a man of that condition, send him somewhere where he can get that specialized service. Why are we going to keep him? And if we're going to send somebody to Kingston, number one, if a man going in a private car, and go do the go buy Apex. That come like him discharge himself. Because me can't understand how him still in the hospital, him still me admitted, and at the same time he go by himself. I just can't understand that. And I really need somebody at the hospital to come out and tell the people of St. Thomas how that go. Something is not right with that. And all who want make politics, no let them speak about it. Let me tell you something, man. I like some people where shield the gunman them until when the gun reach on them. So me not go wait till when it reach. Never talk about it now. So please, the hospital need to say something. Washy will never come back again. We understand that. But at least may the death of Washy bring some changes to the Princess Margaret Hospital.
What Mr. William is saying is not right, but in the light of Mr. Bryan, we order an investigation. I conduct that meeting on Monday morning from 8 o'clock till about 12. The finding we submit to the minister, and the minister will make a pronouncement. But at the same time, with the ambulance, spoke with the minister, and I showed him we will have two ambulances at the time. The time Councilor Bryan need the service. One was in Kingston coming back, and one was leaving. So I'm acting, I must get a day pass. But I don't know, I'm not going into the nitty-gritty yet, but at the same time the minister promised that we'll get a new ambulance to that help the service at the mass. Because being as a road condition, so where we have to go down to the road condition, the parts and whatever. So I hope we can get that and start the problem. But I'm saying, what you're saying that some things need to be said and some things I would leave it to when the report done.
Because when my mother used to be in the hospital, what me done to my mother, me beat my mother, how me take care of my mother, who the employ for that, now deal like me though. My mother not eat from anybody. Eat from anybody. And sometimes we think we should get the privilege that the girl will put on the social media what happened. Listen me, a person, more than one person who will work at the hospital, tell me that we should send Washy over the hospital. Person who will work there tell me that. We should send Washy over there. It's a bad thing we don't send Washy to the hospital. Sure. Go, make a case.
Mr. Chairman,
Sure.
that's why I have to speak on this matter. All respect to the chairman. But if you have a man from, if you have two ambulance working, I mean, you say I want alone there work. If you have two ambulance working, I have a man in the hospital from Sunday evening.
Yeah.
You want to tell me that you can't find a way to schedule him? That one of those ambulance move him by a Tuesday midday, the man go down, up to Tuesday midday. Remember, a heart condition, maybe the worst of all, are in that category. With serious pain, the man feels serious pain. Serious pain, like him have a clot something. Serious pain. And you want to tell me that you even at that time you have to call, whether you want to call Portland, wherever town, and this is an emergency, and we have to deal with it such way. So it is never acceptable to me to say we don't only have two ambulances, and that member saying, no, like the man just come in, no, and the man dead 2 hours later, 3 hours later, or 8 hours later. We have hours, we have like 72 hours. So if we can't get an ambulance scheduled for a patient within 72 hours, it is saying one thing, we can come to a clear conclusion that the Princess Margaret Hospital is a failure. If in 72 hours you can't get an ambulance for a dying patient, the hospital is a failure and none of us should never go there. And I can say this because I'm not employed here, so they can't fire me like how they want to fire the lady. Which they cannot fire the lady. And I'm saying to the management body of the Princess Margaret Hospital, that lady should be promoted because she's speaking the truth. She's looking out for the people can't find an ambulance man. We feel as a parish that we can't give a dying patient an ambulance within 72 hours.
This increase.
And I'm disappointed this morning for none of the GLB councilors to stand and support my point. They are a bunch of hypocrites. Because the greatest gift is life. And when I look and say life just taken away, just like that, you know, I rest my case.
Sir Chairman.
But this
And I am going to say this. I stand here this morning as the councillor for the Dallas Division. My wife is a senior RN at the Princess Margaret Hospital. I beg my wife to work at the Princess Margaret Hospital because I am a councillor here. What I am saying, if we as a parish bringing down an institution, it will occur where Doc is mentioning that they are short on staff. No one will be encouraged to go out by the Princess Margaret Hospital. And if we should look in the matter very serious, the DSP of police is here and he can mention that there are certain organizations and workplaces that have confidentiality. So when it comes on to certain information, I am not privy to that from my wife because I am a politician and she's a RN. I dare not ask her certain things. And I can tell you that Councillor Bryan was given the privilege to go in a private vehicle because of his political affiliation. A common man wouldn't get that opportunity from the hospital. So let us be careful how we approach and believe that some people are not capable to defend themselves. I can defend my colleague that we are not a part of the Princess Margaret Hospital to outline the situation that was done. It's a matter that is under investigation. And I said it once more. Councillor Bryan was given the privilege to go in a private vehicle because of his political affiliation. A common person would never get that privilege. A common man would never get the chance to go in a private vehicle if they would allow him to die at the hospital. But because he's a councillor and we want to help the situation speed up based on the ambulance is not available, we are giving him the opportunity to go. I don't want anyone to stand here and talk about politics when it is not politics. Don't bring me across or my colleague. I am a member of the Jamaica Labour Party until death. And that's the reason why I'm in here. And as I said, my wife is a senior RN at the Princess Margaret. I begged her to go there. Her choice was to go at UA based on the type of hospital. But I can't be serving the parish. And she can serve and not a part of the serving within the parish. So I don't want anyone to come and behave as if you can talk and get me to join what you're saying. He was given the privilege because he's a councillor. No common man would get that privilege.
I think it has strokes. And you have to take me to Kingston in an ambulance. I threw up 5 times for me which I'm going to Kingston. Number one, the ambulance never good. And the ambulance was like this. And 5 times for reach Kingston. When I do my test and I came out, I see the ambulance out there waiting for me. I go back in, they said no, now go back in. So the guy turned to me, Porter turned to me and said yes. And then Porter called. He said no, I'm not go back to the ambulance. So they call again, howsoever senior, and they can say no, go back to the ambulance. Anyone may go to the ambulance, there'll be a dead man today. The ambulance never good. We know the previous market shot an ambulance in 1 year. But a full time now. A full time now, we're supposed to get an ambulance man. Even you might wash it going on the car. You should have probably somebody behind him with some agent or something. A truck behind him. Can you get to understand saying collapse about 3 or 4 times like that before he reach up? Which that never good for him. And that part I hurt me, you know. Because I even told to someone and said, no wonder if me never look feel, if I feel this way. First told me I said, no, he'll feel worse. And you never look feel, he'll feel worse. But Chiman, I don't love him that. And that part it have me.
So Chairman, that I just explain something to Councillor Mattison. If you are going in a private vehicle, the property that belongs to the government, which is oxygen, cannot go in the private vehicle. A nurse that on duty cannot travel with you in a private vehicle. Going in a private vehicle, it simply means that you have signed an agreement to take yourself.
But Chairman, let me tell you again now. When the person called when I was at the place, I think it was Dr. Marshall at that time. He said if my vehicle is there, they say yes. He said we can't put the ambulance, not to leave that vehicle alone. But that vehicle me are going, ambulance shove behind it. Yeah, the ambulance shove behind it.
Other agencies. With respect to environmental health, for the month in review, the month of April, 17,740 premises were covered, and the Aedes aegypti index is now down to 9.6%, and the BRA2 index is now down to 19. With respect to water quality, a total this month of 58 bacteriological samples were collected. We received results for 40 of them, and we have a 95% bacteriologically safe rate for the month of April. A total of 158 chlorine residual tests were conducted, and 91% of those tests met the standard. The parish council continued to lead, which is good compared to what happens some places, at 100% in terms of the minor water supplies being treated and found safe for the public. We have done tests also for some of our local bottled water, and Golden Grove, Mike's, Conrad, St. Thomas, Colonel Woolery Store, Purell, in Yalas, and those results so far have been satisfactory. With respect to the port during the month, 2 vessels landed and 6 persons were granted pratique. And those are the basic things I would like to share. Thank you very much.
General business. Any question?
Council will finish some patching on that road. I'm asking for the council to ask the superintendent of road and works to see if they can do an estimate to finish that particular, because I think it has about 85%.
800 meter remain.
800 meter remain. So I'm asking the council to ask the superintendent to do an estimate that I can see if I can get the fund from the equalization fund to complete the road. Thank you.
Adjourn this meeting.
I shot before the adjournment, I put up your hand. I show up in the committee. The situation in the retreat, there is no water there right now, and I did not realize I have a tank, black tank here. I didn't know that the water went away. Just when my black tank empty, I realized there is no water in retreat. And when I try to be able to get something, they said the pump removed. I don't know. Water is needed every second. Can't live and do with water. So I'm gonna ask, please, even to supply with some, get some liquid water until them fix it up. So I need water. I not near low. It's a work on it.